Neat piece of park art sculpture out of bronze, it looks like. Notice the ears are bright from people touching them as a totem. Here's a 3D bronze version of Lucerne. Remember, we came up there along the right side of the train station and worked our way past that art museum and back over there, and then came here, crossed over the bridge, and now we're right where that church is, right there with those two towers. We'll work our way along and then cross over and see some sights over here. Notice the city wall that hopefully we can find remnants of. On this side as well, two churches and this interesting looking building. (1666 to 1677), 1957, and 1974. A beautifully light, restrained pastel palette. There are 32 of these confessionals built in between the individual chapters, or crescents, chapels. Be interesting to know what this is made of. Only these things are not meant to elevate the priest who speaks from them to a quasi-god. These shops are found all along this area, probably, and also right alongside the lake. So it can serve as probably a locals market, only for tourists, although this serves both, of course. Obligatory water fountains of Switzerland. A bit prettier view of this fountain we saw yesterday in the rain, and this very old, authentic chunk of building, like a true chunk of original Lucerne. Those heavily weathered posts with their carved upper supports, and the rest of the building, which looks to be of wood. That portion, I mean. Looks like it has wood panels inside of a wood facing structure. Nicely carved. Rather modest fountain in that same building alongside it. Beautiful doorknobs. This looks like it has stained glass, but it doesn't look colorful. That may be because I'm not on the inside looking out. I don't know. But what's interesting is what is another portion of this Franciscan complex. I just find interesting this painting under the eaves that they do. Plus this eave looks like it's concave, which is an interesting treatment. We've arrived at Franciscankirche, the Franciscan church. The way that they transport these stones that are used on the streets, they're pretty darn heavy stone, whatever it is, probably granite of some sort. Here a pretty fountain with, no doubt, St. Francis at the top, backdrop by his church. You can walk down that street in a few minutes and get a closer look at the prettiness of those buildings. Perhaps the prettiest in the sense of extravagant golds and some beautiful colors is this fountain just on the property of the Franciscan Church. Our last look at this pretty street with an accent on this, what does look like a very old building. The wooden surface framing, if you will, filled in this instance, I think, with stucco with a little bit of either scratch detail or paint detail. But notice up at the top, those large doors, presumably for hauling stuff up to the top. So what was this building in its past?